Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of 20 Questions with the Doulas. I am your host, Jamie Reichschlager, and today we have Anja here. Anja is a doula, midwife, lactation consultant, monitrice extraordinaire. And what else am I missing, Anja? What else is on the list?
Arvigo practitioner.
Yes, that's right. Awesome. So you've been with Green Bay Doulas for a while.
A little over a year already.
Yeah, that's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different things we can get into with the work that you do. So why don't you tell me a little bit about like how you got into the work, like what came first?
So what came first was I was a childbirth educator and a doula in 1997. That's when I started. And there weren't very many doulas in our area at that time. And I was teaching an independent childbirth class and helping people to have a natural birth in whatever setting they were choosing, and then supporting them as a doula as well. I did a lot of, well, lately I never was a leader, but I went to a lot of meetings. And I have 4 children of my own. So of course, like everybody, you might be drawn to the work, but then you have your own children and you have that experience, and then you want to do more with that. Maybe not like everybody, but a lot of people who are in birth work, get inspired or in some way or another from their own birth and breastfeeding experiences.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of.
So how old are your children?
My oldest is 27, and then I have a 24-year-old, a 22-year-old, and a 17-year-old.
So you had your oldest when you were 11.
Or 23. So that's gonna give away my age, but it's okay.
No. Cool. So you started as a doula and a childbirth educator, and then went down the rabbit hole like so many of us do. So then
I tried to actually put it aside. I tried to say, no, I'm not going to do this. And I sold all my childbirth educator stuff. And I was like, no, it's too much. But I loved it. And then people would call me and say, and ask for, hey, could you be at my birth, or could you teach a class for my friends? I loved your childbirth class, or, and then I just sort of got pulled back in because I do love it. And I just feel like it's the thing I was meant to do. So yeah. And started training to be a midwife in 2008.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, the term birth junkie is one of those that's kind of thrown around in the industry, and I feel like, and it almost chooses you sometimes, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So what made you decide to go the midwifery route?
I think I just wanted, I wanted more of a career, and I mean, I'm like a care provider, I'm more of a main kind of role in the birth. And I mean, I considered going back to school to be a CNM, and I mean, that was agonizing, that whole decision about what route to go to be trained. And ultimately I ended up going the CPM route because I had 3 home births and decided that I really wanted to do home birth. So yeah, that's kind of how that went. Just wanting to do more and wanting to learn more.
And for those of us listening, for those of you listening who might not know what CPM means, that stands for Certified Professional Midwife, right?
Correct.
Yep. Okay. And then, So you become a midwife. How does your life change then? Like
Yeah,
what were those first couple years like for you?
well, my training, training was pretty intense, and I spent two large chunks of 2 consecutive summers in El Paso, in a clinical training site there. So I was away from my family, and I had, a small, my youngest was small at the time. I think he was 5, 5 or 6. And, that was a big deal. And so there's always that kind of balance, trade-off that you have to make is, um, people leaving little people at home who are your primary people and then wanting to take care of other people out in the world. And I know lots of birth workers, do that balancing act. So yeah, just the being gone and missing things, missing their birthdays and holidays and family events. So yeah, there was plenty of that, but they were always, my family was always pretty supportive, and they wanted to know, what kind of baby and
Yeah.
what did they name the baby. They're almost as excited as anyone else who was at the birth, So
I've heard Emily talk before that before she leaves for a birth, she asks her girls, what do you think they're going to name the baby? And like, it's creepy when it's correct and it has been correct. But yeah, it's fun to get the family involved like that.
yeah, they were just as excited.
So tell me a little bit about this abdominal massage therapy that you do, this Arvigo therapy,
Yeah.
because that's something that, like when I tell clients about it, that it's there as an option, not a lot of people know what that's about. So how did you get started in that? And can you explain a little bit more about what that is?
Sure. I had a year, of people having a lot of people in our care. And this is sort of how maybe you have this experience too. You sort of see a thing over and over and over again, and you're like, what's a better way for me to address this? What else can I learn about this situation? How can I help and support people better, through something challenging or difficult? And so I kind of had a year of that, like people having malpositioned babies and long labors, and what else could I do? And I found the Arvigo therapy really through another friend who's also a midwife, and it's from Central America. A lot of cultures have a type of abdominal therapy that they use for digestion, fertility, painful periods, pregnancy, postpartum recovery. Um, and so this is based on the Mayan techniques of abdominal therapy. And it was sort of researched by Dr. Rosita Arvigo. And it felt like a really great add-on to midwifery care, and respecting obviously the indigenous people from which that process came from, but it's included in my care for anybody who's a birth client. And I do find that people are experiencing, they get it all the way through their pregnancies if they're with me for birth. And then I offer it up for postpartum recovery as well. And anybody who's pregnant and planning to birth anywhere can come and have a treatment, so you don't have to be one of my clients. But people are just reporting that they're feeling less swollen and more mobile, and their hips feel better and their joints feel better. And, I've had people just feel like they could recover better. And I really feel like it's been a great addition to the care that I've provided.
Yeah. So is it about, like, the main principle of it, is it about keeping things as balanced as possible and flexible and that
Yep.
sort of thing? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like massage on your abdomen. So from like the sternum or the center of your chest to your pubic bone on your front, and then also work on your back and your sacrum and I mean, you know, people are just like, oh, that feels so good when you do that stretch on my hips. And you remember, you remember how it feels being pregnant, and just the weight of that on your hips and your back, and that it really releases a lot of that tension. So
Yeah.
it's been really great. And then postpartum, you know, especially for people who had a hard birth or some kind of complication, just feeling like in those first few weeks postpartum, being able to sort of get in there and increase blood flow and put everything back where it belongs, because really your uterus is pretty displaced after a pregnancy, and so then to be able to put it back where it belongs, and people are not having so much to deal with prolapse or urinary incontinence or those kinds of things.
Yeah, it's such an amazing option, and
Yeah.
because that's what we're about at Green Bay Doulas, is all the options. And
Yeah.
I just think it's so cool because we have 18, 19 of us. There are these things that we've come across along the way, you know, and
Yeah.
we need to add to our arsenal of tools. So it's really cool that that you individually have such a wide array of things to offer the community. So that's really cool.
Yeah, thanks.
What else would you like to tell everyone about yourself before we get into our lightning round?
Lightning round. I feel nervous.
It's not scary, I promise.
I'm a IBCLC, International Board Certified Lactation Consultant, and I kind of got to Green Bay Doulas because of Arvigo and lactation consulting, because I really want to offer that up to people postpartum. And if they're my midwifery clients, they are discharged from care at 6 weeks postpartum, and so here are these other things that I can do to continue to help support people. And I love the postpartum doula training with twins, and so that kind of specialty with multiples. And that work has been really lovely and gratifying as well. To be able to help a family through the weeks postpartum is really nice.
Awesome. And you have your own dedicated website, right?
Yes, I do.
And
Yeah.
that's
AnjaFarin.com, ANJA, F as in Frank, ARIN.com.
awesome. And maybe that can be a comment below when this gets posted to the Green Bay
Sure.
Doulas page. We can maybe put that down below.
Okay.
So without further ado, it's just a few questions. You know, we call it 20 questions with the doulas. I don't actually know how many questions it is because we tend to go down some rabbit holes. So this is just about 10 questions. All right. What is your favorite Disney character?
Oh, my favorite Disney character. Shoot. Who's the this is where you learn how old I am, I guess. Who's the one with the long red hair in the like Rapunzel remake?
Rapunzel, yeah.
No, the newer one. She's like in a tree and she has the long hair. she was given up for How do you like this? I can't think of her name.
And you know, I know it, but I could not tell you because, and my excuse is that my son is 10 months old, and what is her name? I can't remember. People, you guys, put it in the comments if you just put it in the comments.
Remember she got stolen away as a baby, and she always had the light festival happened on her birthday, and she always saw the lights and wanted to go, you know, that girl.
Okay, you guys got to help us out here. You have to put it in the comments. Okay. This next one is easier. Talking or texting?
Talking, I think. I mean, I do a lot of texting, but yeah. I would prefer talking. Yeah.
What is your favorite summer activity?
Favorite summer activity, biking. I love my bike, my road bike.
Awesome. Where do you go?
You know, right around here, there's a lot of great trails and stuff. My son did accidentally ride his bike to De Pere from Appleton one summer Sunday morning, and so I would like to retrace his steps up the Fox River.
Like he
Right.
was not intentionally going that far.
That's right. That's right. He like accidentally rode, I don't know, 50 miles or something on his back.
That's so funny. We had speaking of rabbit holes or like getting off track. So I have a cousin who one year was coming up, and she lives like closer to the like she lives in southern Wisconsin. So she was coming up to Door County for Christmas, where I grew up in Door County. So here's Wisconsin, right? Or
Yeah. Yeah.
however you guys are seeing that. So she missed the exit to go up to Door County and saw a sign that said, "Welcome to Michigan."
Oh no. Oh no.
So anyway, next question. Super strength or invisibility cloak?
Super strength, I think. Mhm.
What is your favorite U.S. city?
My favorite US city, I really love Boston. It's so cool, historic, and I mean, busy, but yeah, it was really beautiful there.
All right. What's your middle name?
Ah, what?
You can pass if you really want to.
Gosh, okay, fine. It's Dessa.
I like that. Dessa with a D?
Yeah, Desa. Yep.
I like that.
Okay.
I've never heard it before, but I really do. Okay. How would you rate your karaoke skills on a scale from 1 to Mariah Carey?
Oh, I would say, I'm not quite Mariah Carey, but I'm pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have to figure out how to get that out of you later because like you and Emily need to get together, I think.
I think so. Yeah. I think so. I can tell that there's some singing that Emily and I need to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Say something in Spanish.
Oh my gosh, the first thing that came to my mind was French. I was going to say quelque chose en espagnol, which is actually in French. So
Hey, French is fun. What?
something in Spanish. Hola.
Okay, that counts. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
If you could, that was quick. If you could only eat one thing for a week, what would it be?
One thing for a week. Tacos.
That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the last book you read?
The last book I read is Catch and Kill by Ronan Farrow. Mm-hmm.
How was it?
It was amazing and shocking and appalling, and everybody should read it. Oh my God.
Awesome. So that's it. You survived. Yay! Awesome. So this has been 20 questions with the Green Bay Doulas with Anja Farron as our guest. Thank you for joining. We'll see you next time.
Yay, thank you.